From long-legged cats that look like miniature jaguars to the proud owners of the softest fur in the world, here are 8 adorable exotic animals you can bring home as pets. Number 8. Sugar glider. With a name like this, you know for a fact they have to be absolutely beautiful. As a member of the kangaroo and koala bear family, the sugar glider is a small marsupial that comes from the rainforests of Australia and Indonesia. They have been bred as pets in the United States for the last 15 years and got their name from their love of eating sweet fruits and vegetables. They also have a gliding membrane that is similar to a flying squirrel that stretches from their wrist to their ankles and allows them to glide from tree to tree. With a lifespan that is similar to a dog or cat, sugar gliders can also learn their own names and do tricks. Although some people like to compare them to rodents such as mice, hamsters and gerbils, sugar gliders are not rodents and do not instinctively need to chew on things, making them a tidier pet. They are also known to strongly and permanently bond to their human families and can go almost anywhere with you in public without being in a cage. Some sugar glider owners have even been known to carry them around on their shoulders or in their pockets. When they are babies, they are called joeys, like kangaroos, and only measure about the size of a grain of rice when they're born. They spend the first few weeks of their lives in their mother's pouch and grow to be about 5 to 7 inches long, not including their tail. In the wild, they live in colonies of 10 to 15 other gliders, but when they bond to a family, they usually pick a favourite person as their primary bond. If you like pocket-sized pets that look unique, maybe a sugar glider is for you. Would you like to have your very own sugar glider as a pet? It seems like a way cooler and friendlier animal than a gerbil or guinea pig to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Number 7. Box turtles. If you don't think a box turtle can be cute, you're sorely mistaken. These guys are beautiful. Native to the United States and Mexico, there are 4 species of box turtles. They are recognizable from their domed shell, which they use for protection. These little armored tanks can retract their arms, legs and head, then close their shell tightly to keep predators at bay. Common box turtles are the most well-known of the species and include various subspecies including the eastern box turtle, the Mexican box turtle and the Yucatan box turtle. The aquatic box turtle is the only known aquatic box turtle in North America and can be found in one small area, in Coahuila, Mexico. Popular as pets, they need exposure to real or artificial light to stay healthy. Their main source of food is invertebrates, like insects and worms, but they'll also eat a lot of vegetable matter including leaves, fruits and berries. A relatively docile species, they are quite exotic looking with some coming in brilliant colours and designs. Most are safe to pick up and do not bite humans. However, they do not like to be handled too much and can sometimes be a bit of a challenge to take care of. Still very much a wild animal, box turtles need a tank or enclosure that simulates their natural wild environment to keep them healthy. In the wild, most box turtles share a deep connection to where they were born and do not travel far from it. One of the problems that occurs is when people take box turtles from the wild, domesticate them as pets, then release them somewhere else. Sadly, because these box turtles often wander aimlessly trying to find their original home, they usually die. They also tend to have a short lifespan in captivity because of the strong connection to where they were born. If you do decide to adopt a box turtle as a pet, you should also be careful not to keep them in an enclosure where they can see out of the glass, because they do not understand the concept of it and will endlessly push against the invisible wall, which can cause them undue stress. However, by providing them with a proper habitat that is as close to their natural habitat as possible, box turtles can be a rewarding addition to your family. Number 6. Kinkajou. These cute little animals might be difficult to pronounce, but they are as adorable as their unique name. Found in the tropical forests of Central and South America, kinkajous have similar features to primates, but they are actually related to the raccoon. Sometimes called honey bears because they eat beehives, kinkajous use their long, skinny tongues to drink honey from beehives and remove insects like termites from their nests with ease. They also eat food and small mammals which they capture with their sharp claws, mostly roaming and eating at night and returning to holes in trees to sleep during the day. Known to form treetop groups for social interaction and reciprocal grooming, kinkajous are a vocal animal. Even though they are seldom seen, there is no mistaking their call, which includes screeching and barking from the tropical forest canopy. Although babies are born with their eyes shut and they cannot see for a month, by the second month of their life they are able to hang upside down from their tails. With a lifespan from 20 to 25 years, they weigh from 4 to 8 pounds and reach maturity at 18 to 20 months. Native to lowland rainforests of Central and South America, they can also be found from eastern and southern Mexico through Belize and as far south as Ecuador and southern Brazil. Directly related to the red panda, Kinkajous have a small round head, small ears, sharp teeth, a long body and thick brown fur. They use their long tails to balance, and although they have a keen sense of touch and smell, they have poor vision. They also play an important role in the ecology of tropical rainforests by dispersing many different kinds of seeds and pollinating plants as they move through the treetops. Able to live from 20 to 25 years, their main predators include the fox, the jaguar, ocelots, and even humans, who hunt them for their meat and fur. Although many wildlife experts do not think it's a good idea to keep them as pets, many people do so, even though it requires a large cage for them to live comfortably. You would need to make significant changes to your house, or even build a giant greenhouse to be their playroom if you ever wanted to own one of these. But they are so cute, it might just be worth it. What do you think? Tell me in a comment below. And while you're there, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Number 5. Crested Gecko. Crested geckos are a reptile found in a very lush, remote island chain east of Australia called New Caledonia. Named for the small projections on their heads and above their eyes, the species was thought to be extinct until they were rediscovered in 1994. They were so successful in captivity that they are one of the most widely kept geckos today. Ranging from brown and cream to blacks, oranges, reds and whites, some crested geckos have no pattern, while others have spots or stripes. The more they are bred in captivity, the more colours and pattern combinations you will find. Although you may consider getting multiple crested geckos and keeping them in a single tank or even terrarium, they can be extremely territorial and aggressive towards one another, with juveniles often fighting and seriously hurting their nearby rivals. An arboreal species, crested geckos like wood branches, vines, plants and other subtropical features in their tanks. And they aren't too picky about temperature either. They don't need special heating or lighting, but they do need to stay well hydrated so they can shed their skin. Growing to between 7 and 9 inches in length, including their tail, they have been known to lose their tail in the wild when they are threatened. Some also lose their tail in captivity, but if this happens to your pet, don't worry, they can still thrive without them. Isn't that fascinating? Number 4. Chinchilla. Why go for the typical gerbil or hamster when looking for a rodent as a pet when you can have a chinchilla? Prized for their luxuriously soft fur, unfortunately, chinchillas were nearly driven to extinction because of the demand. But if you want to give a helping hand to this small, furry creature, chinchillas end up making great pets. Related to guinea pigs and porcupines, they have short front legs and long muscular hind legs that resemble rabbits. With shorter round ears, they also have large black eyes and bushy tails. Covered in thick fur, they can live in elevations of 3,000 to 5,000 meters in the Andes at temperatures as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit or -5 Celsius. A nocturnal animal, they sleep during the day by making their homes in underground tunnels or nesting in rock crevices. They sometimes even live in colonies of hundreds of chinchillas. An omnivore that eats both plants and meat, they eat mostly grass and seeds, but also sometimes insects and bird eggs. They hold their food in their front paws to nibble, which is probably one of the many reasons people find them so endearing. If you decide to have multiple chinchillas, you should keep them in separate cages and give them baths once or twice per week in fine volcanic ash. Unless you live near an active volcano, you'll probably have to buy that from the store. Smarter than rabbits, they make for a very hyperactive pet, so you might want to think twice before you adopt one of these furry rodents into your home. Or just make sure you're prepared for the rambunctious little creatures. In exchange, you can have the softest animal in the world running around your house. Do you think it's worth the trade? Let me know in the comments below. Number 3. Serval. With a long neck, very long legs and very large ears on a small skull, the Serval is a unique breed of cat. With a pale yellow coat and black markings consisting of large spots, long stripes or smaller spots that give them a speckled look, the Serval is a striking animal. Found in over 34 African nations, they mostly reside in national parks and reserves. They tend to congregate in long grass savannas with plenty of water and reed beds with other river vegetation. They have also sometimes been found in the dense forests along waterways. A nocturnal hunter, they usually rest during the day in abandoned aardvark burrows or under shady bushes. They are excellent climbers and have been known to retreat to the treetops when they are in danger. For the most part though, they are a solitary and territorial animal. Although they do have long legs, they don't use them for fast chases and instead use them to lift themselves up. They also use their long fingers to dig in burrows and mole tunnels, and will often sit nearby, listening to the animals' movements underground so they can capture them the moment they surface. Not much bigger than a medium-sized dog, servals retain their wild instincts even when domesticated. They are truly difficult to contain in a home or enclosure, and need to be able to learn how to hunt to survive. They are also known to leap into the air to catch flying birds or to slap fish hard enough to stun them. But sadly, servals are not easily house-trained and tend to have poor health when kept as a pet. Considered an exotic pet, most municipalities frown upon keeping them in captivity and instead encourage people to remember that the best way to see these types of animals is in the wild. They may be cute, but it might be best to view them from afar. Unless you have enough room for them to run around freely, that is. If you have enough land, you could probably let them roam and play as much as they want. You'll need some serious real estate for that though. Number 2. Pygmy Marmoset. Another potential pet that some may frown upon keeping in captivity is the Pygmy Marmoset. Small enough to fit around one's finger, they tend to measure 5 to 6 inches long, or 12 to 14 centimeters, and weigh a mere 3.5 ounces. That's 100 grams. Known to feed on tree sap using their sharp teeth to gnaw at the bark, these tiny Pygmy Marmoset can jump 16 feet in the air, an amazing feat for such a tiny critter. Females are known to usually give birth to twins, with the entire family nurturing them. Their small size has won them some cute nicknames, such as Pocket Monkey, Little Lion, and Dwarf Monkey. Of course, they are the smallest of all the monkeys, and one of the very smallest primates in the world. Communication is one of their strongest social aspects, and they use their voice to call, warn of danger, and encourage their young using clicking sounds and loud calls to talk. With no more than 12 members in any group of Pygmy Marmosets, they tend to enjoy bonding, spending their free time with one another, and are even known to show sadness when one of the members dies. Sometimes aggressive and known to fight to their own death if they have to defend themselves, the Pygmy Marmoset is a unique creature found in Colombia, Brazil, Ecuador, and parts of Bolivia. Living most of their lives in trees, they are rarely found on the ground, so if you decide to take one as a pet, you will have to provide them with nests in branches and foliage to make them feel at home. Unfortunately, it's illegal to keep them as pets in many areas, so unless you file for a permit as an exotic animal sanctuary or own a zoo, these thumb-sized monkeys may be pets you can only dream about having as your own. Number 1. Fennec Fox. The smallest fox in the world is the fennec fox, and is easily identified by its rather large ears. Measuring in at no more than 16 inches or 40 centimeters, the animals have a thick sandy-coloured coat that keeps them warm at night and reflects the sun during the day. Although humans are not a natural predator of the fennec fox, unfortunately sometimes malicious poachers trap these animals and sell them into the pet trade or hunt them for their fur. Another animal with a nocturnal nature, they live in deserts and semi-arid habitats in the Sahara and throughout northern Africa. Because of their cute appearance, the fennec fox is often illegally taken as a pet, which actually keeps them from being an endangered species. But just because there are no major threats to their populations, it doesn't mean that they aren't misused. In fact, many are in danger from being trapped, hunted, or sold commercially. For many of these exotic animals, the debate remains: is it better to take them into your home for the prestige of having a unique pet? You could try to be the best pet owner in the world, but it still wouldn't be natural. Would it be better to let them live their lives in the wild where they would have free rein to thrive? They would be in danger from predators, but they would still live their lives as nature intended. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Do you have an exotic pet? Which one would you like to have? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time for another amazing video.